Hey Guardians! Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. Grandmasters return this week, so if you're after that Conqueror seal and Paragon Guardian ranking this season, then you'll need to overcome the challenge of all 6 of this season's Grandmaster Nightfalls. And the Lake of Shadows will be your starting point. The Lake of Shadows will also return as the weekly Grandmaster during weeks 10, 16, and 22. While the Lake of Shadows is the featured Grandmaster, the loaded Question Fusion Rifle will be the available reward. This continues to rank amongst the best fusion rifles, with Adept versions only dropping in Grandmaster difficulty. Along with drops of the loaded Question, you'll get exotic Engrams and Ascendant Shards when completing the Lake of Shadows this week. So today we're going to be breaking down everything you need to know about the Lake of Shadows Grandmaster Edition, including all of this week's modifiers, the best builds, best weapon loadouts, and all of the currently functioning cheeses and workarounds to make completing this Grandmaster a lot easier, whether you're attempting it as a solo guardian or with a group of friends. The Lake of Shadows puts you up against Cabal and Taken with Unstoppable and Barrier champions, a Tormentor, a Chimera mini-boss, and a few Threshers to deal with as well. Your enemies will be utilizing Solar, Arc, Strand, and Void shields, and they'll receive an increase in Arc damage. I would recommend utilizing Arc resistance along with Void resistance, since there will be several Taken balls chasing you down at different segments. Since there will be a lot of fire damage coming your way, and a lot of areas that will have blight flooring, Concussive Dampener will also be a big benefit. You will receive a bonus to both Solar and Strand energies, and heavy machine guns will get overcharged, giving all of these a 25% increase in damage. Bungie has really pushed Solar builds this season with the new seasonal artifact, and it would certainly be in your best interest to play into that by using a Solar build. But there's several hybrid builds that feature both Solar and Strand that will be extremely beneficial this week. I would still recommend Warlocks to run Well of Radiance, as it will provide your team with significant survivability benefits, especially when you're having to stand on blighted flooring. Hunters can bring some top-notch crowd control capabilities with a suspension-focused Strand build, but honestly, an Invis Tether build will be 10 times more effective. Invis hunters using Omnioculus can keep the entire team invisible during the payload transit, allowing you to skip through a good section of enemies. But more importantly than that, you'll have safer revives with invisibility, and top-tier crowd control with Deadfall Tether. While Titans will certainly benefit with a Solar build, a Banner of War build will be great this week. But be forewarned, it's going to be much harder to survive that way when there's so much fire and blight. A Titan with Curious Thunder Crash and the Trinity Ghoul could be immensely effective, since Trinity Ghoul, like other bows, can stun unstoppable champions this season, and the power of a Thunder Crash is always a welcomed benefit when taking on big beefy Grandmaster champions. Since you'll be up against Taken enemies, utilizing the seasonal artifact mod From Whence You Came will provide 5% bonus ability damage when you're going up against Taken. And since it provides 3% more damage than the boss spec mod does, the Taken spec mod will be a great addition to any legendary weapon. With Taken and Unstoppable champions in the mix, the Malfeasance is going to be a tremendous benefit, but so will the Sunshot, the Thorn, the Leviathan's Breath, the Dragon's Breath, and Tiku's Divination. And to handle those barrier champs, the Wishender, the Revision Zero, Ariana's Vow, or even the Forerunner Sidearm will be great exotic choices this week. Since blighted floors and Taken balls will keep you at a distance in a lot of this strike, the Wishender will surely get some heavy use this week. And I would wager that with Argent Ordnance and Blast Radius equipped, the Dragon's Breath will get an equal amount of use by the community this week. Keep in mind that Solar Radiance does provide any weapon with the ability to pierce barrier shields, and Ignitions will stun Unstoppables. Zaoli's Bane, Warden's Law, Word of Crota, and Kept Confidence will all be amazing hand cannons that will stun those Unstoppables this week. The addition of Strand weapons with the new Slice weapon trait will really come in handy, since they will reduce your enemy's damage output by 40%. Now, outside of Hunter's ability to keep the team invisible during the payload transit, the only other still functioning cheese to this Nightfall isn't available until the final boss encounter. While you might feel more of a power fantasy in other activities and feel the need to push up more, you'll really want to play from a distance during each of the segments within this strike. When it comes to the Tormentor, there's no real way to keep distance, but you can use physics to your advantage and use the barriers around the steps to temporarily trap the Tormentor, while using any sort of blinding grenade to temporarily stun them. And I'll also point out, because this always seems to be an issue with newer players, but when you get outside and are at the dam, take out the threshers before you try to work your way down the ramp. This will just make everything a lot easier. With that said, let's talk about that boss cheese. When this encounter begins, or at any point during, you can head over to the right wall, where you see a rusted tube protruding out. If you climb up on top of this tube, and then jump up to the ledge that's right above you, you can then turn around to see some broken scaffolding directly across from you. You can jump up to these, and then climb to the top of the roof. There are some areas that will try to return you to the arena, but if you stay right along the edge, you should be fine. You aren't completely immune from damage while up here though, so you'll want to watch out and be sure to give teammates some space. You can pop Well of Radiance and Tethers and just stay up here and pick off the boss and all the enemies without putting yourself in harm's way. I know that this doesn't help towards the earlier encounters, but this will ensure that you don't end up wasting time going through all of that just to get to this room and then wipe. And by utilizing this cheese and using the builds and weapon loadouts that we discussed earlier, you'll have a much easier time completing this week's Grandmaster Nightfall. If any other cheeses do pop up with this Grandmaster or any other, I will be sure to keep you guys informed. But I do wish you all the best of luck throughout this week and throughout the rest of the season. Let me know your thoughts about the return of Grandmasters and your thoughts of the Lake of Shadows. Was it as difficult as it's been in the past, or did you find it much easier? Let me know down in the comments below. I will also leave a couple of different links to different builds down in the description as well, so be sure to check out the links to those. Thank you as always for checking out the video. If you enjoyed and found it helpful, then be sure to hit that like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated, and both really do help support the channel. If you're a new Light Guardian just starting your journey, or a battle-hardened veteran just looking for a new home, then be sure to check out the Discord link in the description below and join one of the greatest communities in all of Destiny. And until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you all some happy holidays and some happy hunting.